Hey everybody, good morning. Taking a look at Job 3 today. My Bible titles it Job Deplores His Birth. And when you go on reading it, you see how he, in a very poetic manner, curses the day that he was born. And he said, why can't I be where everybody else is, where they're not oppressed, why couldn't I have died at birth? And he really is just feeling pretty down on himself at this point. And and he's got a right to. He's just, the devil has just stolen so much from him. He has a right to be upset. And look at it. I see many times, a few times here, verse 13, he says, then I would have been at rest if you would have just let me die at birth. He says, verse 17, it's the weary are at rest. He says down in verse 26, I have no rest. And it's to me, it seems like he feels like he's just fighting and fighting and fighting and getting absolutely nowhere. And that would tire a person out. Not on the same lines, but on the same lines. I feel that way, in my job is, I keep fighting and fighting and fighting, just to help my employer build his business, yet I have to fight my employer to have the right resources. I constantly feel oppressed, and, I feel like I have no rest there. No peace, so it helps me to understand Job, even though it's not to the same extreme. And thank you, Jesus, that it's not to that extreme. So I can understand, and there are times where I've said I never should have gotten into this business, or I never should have worked for this employer, and so I can sort of understand Job's pain and his point of view. But for us, luckily, Jesus said, my burden is light. He said, come to me, you who are heavy burdened. My burden is light. So, even though the devil attacks, Jesus has already made up for it. Even though you may be under fire in many different ways, Jesus is already giving you the peace to get through it. Jesus has already got his hand out saying, here, let me help you move on. Let me help you get through this. You see, Jesus doesn't always want to rescue us. Sometimes he wants to pull us through. And you're right, sometimes he wants to rescue us. So, guys, look to our mighty Jesus. He's the one. He is the one. I love you all, and I hope you have a super, super day.